Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. The other day, I was playing with some brand new products from Altenew, including the new Gilded Marble Press Plate, and I think I may have discovered a new Betterpress technique, and I'm going to share two techniques, actually three techniques, featuring this Gilded Marble Press Plate with you today. And one of those, like I said, I think it may be a new technique. So if you've seen me create with the press plates in the past, you know that you can do both the faux letterpress technique with them, and you can also foil with them. They make for great foil plates. Now keep in mind that press plates can be used for foiling, but foiling plates cannot be used for Betterpress. So there's a one-way street here. But today I'm going to start out by foiling this new Gilded Marble Press Plate from Altenew. This is brand new for their May release, and it's available now in the shop. So if you're looking for links, check the YouTube description below. So I've added my press plate onto the platform of my Glimmer hot foil system. I let that heat up and then I set the timer. And once the timer's done, I'm going to go ahead and remove the platform from the base, take it over to my Platinum 6. I'm going to add my foil, my hot foil, with the pretty side facing the pretty side of the press plate. Then I'm going to add some smooth white cardstock, a couple of the shims that come with the Glimmer system, and then run that through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine. And that is going to press the foil onto this cardstock, and you can see I am left with a beautiful result. Now, I used a matte silver foil for this technique today. It looks absolutely beautiful. So you can see that here, but I thought it would be fun to show you a couple of kind of step it up techniques with the press plate as well. So the first one that I'm going to show you is ink blending on a press plate. Now this is not the new technique, so don't come at me yet. Just hang on. I'm going to show you something really cool here in just a bit. But this is just kind of standard Betterpress with a couple of colors of ink. So I'm taking my plate and I'm putting it right in the middle of my Betterpress platform. That's called the chase. There's a magnetic mat in that chase, that gray area, which will hold my press plate in place. Now I have the clear part, which is the platen, and I have adhered some watercolor cardstock onto that platen using some masking tape from Altenew. And I am going to now ink up my press plate with a couple of ink colors from Altenew. These are the fresh dye inks. I absolutely love them. They blend beautifully. There is a huge range of colors. They also are water reactive, so they're perfect for watercolor techniques. So you can see I took the Peachy Keen and I added that all over this Gilded Marble press plate. And now I'm coming in with some terracotta ink just along the bottom of this press plate. I'm kind of inking over areas that I already inked, but it's a darker ink, so that doesn't matter. Now to blend these two colors together, I'm going to take a blending brush and just kind of tap over the edges where those two colors intersect so that they kind of soften out and blend together just a bit so I won't have that harsh line. Now, once I've blended that, I'm going to take the platen and I'm going to flip it over to where the cardstock is now facing the press plate. It adheres onto the chase with these magnetic feet, and the paper doesn't actually touch the press plate and the ink until you run it through your die cut machine. So as you run it through the die cut machine, this will make an impression into that cardstock and press the ink into kind of these debossed areas. And I really like to use either a watercolor cardstock for this or the Betterpress cotton cardstock, which makes a really lovely impression. So you can see I have my foiled version and my blended version. And as I was thinking, this is the new technique that came to me. I thought, I wonder if you could get kind of a watercolor look with the press plates. And so I'm going to try this again. And this time I'm using watercolor cardstock again. But instead of blending out the colors with a blending brush, I am going to spritz some water on the surface of the press plate after it's inked up and see if I can get a softer, more watercolor effect. So this time I'm actually changing to the Rouge ink for my darker color ink instead of the terracotta. And I'm using the same Peachy Keen ink along the entire press plate. And then along the bottom is where I am putting this Rouge ink. This ink has to be right now my favorite fresh dye ink from Altenew. I love this color so much. Now, after I've added all of the ink onto the press plate, I'm going to take a spritz bottle with water in it. I keep these around my work area with different cleaners and water and rubbing alcohol for different things. And I'm just going to spritz some water over the press plate. You can see the ink changes just a little bit as it gets wet. It's not a soaking wet press plate, but there is a fair amount of water on this. And then I'm going to take the platen, place it onto those magnetic feet, run that through my Platinum 6 die cutting machine, and this is pressing that plate into the watercolor cardstock along with that water and ink. And you can see that I have a much softer effect. So you could really add a lot more water and really get those colors moving and blending, but still have that impressed impression. Now, if you get too much water, I think the color will kind of bleed out of the impression, but I thought this was a really cool way to experiment with my press plate, and I can't wait to do more of it in the future. So that is the technique that I think I might have come up with. I don't know. Maybe you've seen it before, but it is definitely something new and exciting to try with your press plates. So we did some foiling, we did some blended ink on the press plates, and then we did a watercolor effect. And you can let me know in the comments below which of these 3 techniques is your absolute favorite for press plates. Now I have another press plate compatible set from Altenew here. This is called the Celebration Sentiments. I've placed them onto that magnetic portion of the chase of my Betterpress platform, and I'm inking them up with some Rouge ink, and I'm going to just press these using just the ink. There's no water on these, onto some watercolor cardstock. So I've gone ahead and placed the platen onto the magnetic feet. I'm running that through my die cut machine, and now I will have some beautiful kind of faux letterpress sentiments for my card projects. And I love these sentiments because they are such a fun font, but they also have coordinating dies. So I wanted to show you kind of the comparison between the harsher kind of darker colors of the Betterpress background and then that watercolor version, which I have here on the left-hand side. And then of course I have my foiled version as well. So now I'm going to work on die cutting some of the elements and creating my cards. I think that these cards would be great for upcoming graduations. In fact, you could use this gilded marble press plate design in the school colors of the graduate and really make some really cool cards with that. Or you can use it for a baby card. I think these beautiful kind of peaches and pinks or corals would be a really beautiful baby card design as well. So I've gone ahead and die cut the sentiments, and I've also die cut some coordinating cardstock, colored cardstock here, and I'm going to layer these sentiment pieces up, but I'm going to offset it slightly so that you have a little bit of shadow kind of coming out from the bottom of the sentiment. Now I've also taken some Mountain Mist cardstock from Altenew and cut them into some strips, and I'm cutting those strips at an angle. I decided these strips were just a little wide, so I trimmed them down to about 1 inch wide. And then I'm going to take them and adhere them onto my card fronts using some foam adhesive. So I'm using the Altenew foam adhesive to pop these up, give them a little bit of dimension. And you can see I have a T-square ruler there to kind of make sure I get these kind of squared up on the front of the card. And then I can just trim off the excess. Now, in addition to my sentiment, I also die cut a vellum circle, and I'm going to adhere the sentiment onto the vellum circle using a little bit of foam adhesive. And then I'll take this entire grouping with the vellum circle and the sentiment and place that kind of where it overlaps that colored cardstock that I placed on my card front. And I decided to kind of do it at an angle because the background, that gilded marble background, kind of has some angles to it too. Now, to add a little sparkle to these cards, I'm finishing them off with some clear sequins. I'm just adding those on with some liquid glue, and I have an embellishment tool here to kind of help me place those. And I added all of these card fronts onto this really beautiful Barely Peach cardstock. I thought that just tied in with the color palette so well. This color palette feels very summery and sherbety, and I love the way that these cards turned out. They're so simple, so beautiful, And there's so many possibilities with the press plates that are out there now. I love foiling, I love Betterpress, and I love this new watercolor technique with the press plates as well. Now, these cards are super clean and simple, but you could definitely take this gilded marble background and create more elaborate designs. I just really wanted these backgrounds to take center stage on these card projects, and I think this layout was perfect for enhancing all that beautiful watercolor and foil that we did. Now, as always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there. Or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked in the YouTube description below as well. Over there, you're going to find more still shots, more information, a complete list of supplies, as well as some information on a blog hop that is happening today to celebrate this brand new monthly release from Altenew. I hope you'll join me over there. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications here so you don't miss any of the paper crafting and card making video tutorials I share. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.